It's been over a year since the pandemic disrupted the world. Many of us have experienced a lot of anxiety and stress because of the situation. To battle negativity, people have found new hobbies to keep busy that give them joy and purpose each day. It was Audrey Hepburn who said, "To plant a garden is to believe in tomorrow." Despite the odds, life continues, and whatever life may bring, may we find ways to continue to grow and bloom with grace. Hello, everyone. My name is Nirma Tico Ortiz, and welcome to our peaceful classroom.
Welcome to our sacred space.
Our peaceful
Classroom.
Our peaceful classroom is a dedicated space where parents, educators, and other professionals come together to talk about ideas on how to promote positivity and peace within ourselves, our families, and communities. In today's episode, we will be talking about plants and wellness. I am sure we have a lot of viewers who are plant titos and plant titas, so this episode should be a lot of fun for you. But if you are not quite there yet, do stay and listen in. I am sure you will be able to pick up a few things from our guests. Joining me today, we have Mr. Nikki Delfin, a peace and human rights advocate, a proud father to two boys, and a very loving husband. Him and his family started their gardening journey or gardening adventure during the onset of the pandemic. They started off with a few plants, but now have grown their home garden with over 100 plants. Also sharing today, we have Christine Leones, who is a lawyer by profession and a proud plant mama who's been caring for plants since 2017. She has both an office garden and a home garden where she finds a lot of joy and comfort. She's into succulents and cacti and has started propagating from cuttings from friends and relatives. Let's listen in now to Nikki and Tim. Hi everyone, welcome to our peaceful classroom. Today we have with us Christine and Nikki. So hi Christine, hi Nikki, how are you guys?
Hello.
Hi
We're
there.
good.
Hello.
Bye.
All right, good. Christine, can you tell us a bit about yourself? And then of course, Nikki, after Christine, you can also share a bit about yourself.
Okay. So I'm Pin. I'm a budding plant tita, and I'm a government worker and a lawyer. I'm also mostly still learning about how to care for plants. So I'm also a feminist, and that's about it. That's all I can share.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you for sharing that. Nikki, what's up? What about you?
Hi, I'm Nikki. I used to work with Mirma when she was working for the Center for Peace Education in Miriam College. I used to work for a similar peace institute across the bridge in Ateneo. But then we parted ways. So I now work as the advisor at the Norwegian Embassy. And also a budding, I would say, plantito. No, we've started our plant collection just right in the middle of the pandemic.
So, but we have budding Tin and budding Nikki.
Soon to
our
bloom.
Oo nga, soon to bloom. Ano nga ba ibig
Right.
sabihin soon to bloom? Baka naman sobrang bloom na kayo, hindi niyo lang hindi niyo lang
Wala nang
tinatanggap pa,
space.
no? Yeah, so thank you Tin and Nikki for, making time for us here at our peaceful classroom. So we're really quite interested to know more about you, more about your plans, how you got into this. So let me dive in. So, we're very curious. What is a typical day for you now being under this new normal? So, Tin and Nikki, anyone can begin.
Nikki,
Yeah, I mean,
we
it,
volunteer.
it has really upended our typical work day or week, the even the months that we used to plan, like vacations or travel and eating out. So it has been quite difficult for me and my family for a very long time. So I've been working from home since March of last year, and we haven't really ventured out except for groceries or running some errands. We're really nice that way. We follow the with the guidelines,
The
but then
protocols.
it also takes its toll on you, diba? Mentally, if you're at home and locked in without hobbies or passion. So I think the plants really helped us a lot.
Yeah. So basically, just staying home, waking up, eating breakfast. So it's really that cycle. That's how it is
Right.
for you. For you. So what about you, Tin?
Um, well, mostly similar to Nikki. Kasi now, although I'm a government worker, we were required to start working from home, especially at the beginning of the pandemic for a long period of time. And that was kind of disorienting. And like we were suddenly required to do so many digitization of our work and yung mga
Right.
reporting and all that. So ayan, medyo lumevel up yung skills ko sa ibang mga technological matters bigla. But then yun na nga, parang there was a difficulty in setting boundaries between work and life. And then at the same time, I was so since I'm the only one employed in my family right now, so when I do have to go to work during our skeleton workforce schedules, I get so anxious when I come back from home because my parents are both elderly and they're also immunocompromised. They have critical illnesses, so it's really I feel so much. My anxiety went up during this whole entire pandemic period, and then um, I'm simple medical procedures and laboratory tests, all those things suddenly became more dangerous. Like usually, no, they would just be the norm. You can go to the hospital, you can get, but those become suddenly something so filled with potential problems and challenges. So the so having a garden and starting trying to attend to plants helped me a bit more calm down about all my other anxieties. Kasi those things make you a little bit more
Yeah.
mindful. So, but in terms of the changes in the lifestyle, um, uh, apart from the having to work from home more and having feeling more anxious when I do go out, I also appreciated the time with my family because I also had suddenly more time with my parents. I'd be able to pay more attention to them, stay here even if I'm working. If they needed anything or in the household, it would be more easily attended to immediately since I'm just here during the schedules when I'm on work from home. So those are the big differences.
Yeah, so I think a lot
Right.
of our viewers can also relate to, what your typical day is like and, the things that causes anxiety amongst, I think what is causing thin anxiety is very also similar to many of our viewers. So specifically those who have elderly parents, tapos sila din yung front, you as the person in the sandwich generation, ikaw din yung
Tribute,
frontliner. Yeah, ikaw yung
quarantine
frontliner din ng
tributes.
yes. And then of course, what Nikki said, parang so many plans. We had to put everything on pause. Like now it's summertime, right? We should be enjoying our time outside, but now we're cooped inside our homes, and we are left to our creativity to keep sane, right? Um, so I think a lot of our viewers can really relate to that. So, you know, both of you have both of you have gardens or own a lot of plants or are caring for plants at home. But I'm quite interested to know, how did it all start? Did it start during the pandemic, or was it something that you already loved doing before the pandemic at na-heighten lang because of this this whole situation?
Ako, it started before the pandemic. A few years lang before the pandemic. Kasi, my mom has always been a plant lover. Also, my grandmom. And right now, we live in my grandmom's house. My grandmom, my uncle's house, they're our ancestral home. So we have a big garden. But then, also, my mom used to be a member of the Cactus Society of the Philippines. Since she was a
Wow.
cactus, yeah,
Cool.
for a few
Wow.
years. Parang my sister was even a secretary or something. But they're really into cactus. And I was
Wow.
like, and I wasn't, but parang I took it all for granted now. There would always be plants, and my mom would always be carrying home a cutting from her recent travel. I mean, she's the type na who would go to the province for work, and she'd always just happen to have a scissor. And anytime she finds like some interesting plant, she'd knock on strangers' doors and get a cutting if they'd allow her something. So parang they're really into plants. But I took it for granted until nga a few years ago na I had an office mate who had a parang office garden in her room because she had nice windows. She had the big windows. And it just so happened when I transferred into that office, I also had finally a window of my own. So I was thinking, wow, whenever I go to her office, parang it felt so refreshing and peaceful and nice. I was like, maybe I should try to put some plants in my room to brighten it up, ganyan. And then I don't have to spend much because I just ask from my mom or cut from the get some babies from the garden and repot them or something. So that's how I started. And then my friends also from the office would give me their baby plants or their extra plants because they were trying to encourage me also to be more increase my collection. And when I started not killing as many plants, yeah, parang that's when I started feeling okay, pwede ko tong i-sustain. And yun nga, it was I realized the changes na it brought whenever I'd go to work in my mood and na and my attitude in general, and it brought me joy. And so I kept doing it, and it also made me closer to my mom kasi nga now we had something in common because she was really into plants, and we'd be planning which neighbor to ask plants from or something like that whenever we go out for exercise or something. So and yeah, for her gifts I knew na how to choose what cactus to get her or something because I'd actually paid more attention now to the different types of plants like that. So yun, it just basically made me more positive and happier. So that's how I started.
Oh, thank you, Ken, for sharing. Nikki, what about you? What started
Well,
this whole thing?
it started during the pandemic. Really, I'm a probinsya boy, so I mean, my dad always had gardens and back in our hometown in Nueva Ecija. But like in Metro Manila, we had a very tiny apartment that didn't have any sunlight whatsoever for the longest time. So, but middle of the pandemic, I was like, bakit ba tayo nagsistay dito? No? Why are we still here in this tiny cooped up apartment near BGC? Because it was quite easier for it's a shorter drive. No? So going from home to the office. But then sabi ko parang we need a bigger place where we'll have enough sunlight so that we can take care of plants and just basically be more zen about the living space because you're spending 24/7 at home and really you need a spot for your office, a spot for hobbies, a spot for whatever. So and then we searched for a house, and then one of our friends, Mirma, our common friend Jamie, mentioned that there's an apartment near to her apartment, and suddenly there's an opening middle of the pandemic. So I took a look, and then I told them, I like this place. Morning sun, tapos lots of big windows. Sabi ko, perfect to.
As we
And
can
then
see.
Yeah. Sabi ko, I'll
So
take
much
care of maybe
light.
20 plants. Sabi ko, yun lang yung plano ko, 20.
20,
So I had the
may
list.
May cap ka.
May cup ako. I had the list. Meron akong album sa phone ko ng the plants that I really want to
Wow.
collect. So I had like only in a very small list of the plants that I want. Then again, my wife, no, parang influensyahan ko about taking care of plants. So I think yung philosophy niya sa plants parang Pokemon. You have to collect them
Catch
all.
them all.
Parang kailangan I need
Gotta
to have
catch
one
them
of
all.
everything. So suddenly from the list of 20 that we initially bought, parang ngayon more than 100 na yata, 150
Whoa.
pots of different varieties yung
So you have a
plants
jungle
namin.
now in your home.
Medyo it's turning to that. Yung joke ko nga sa bahay, susunod ko nang kailangan bilhin monkeys for the for the legit jungle feel. Pero wala pa naman, hindi pa naman kami maaabot doon. So I said
100.
Tsaka illegal yun, Nikki.
right. No, it was just a joke. It was just a joke. But the plants were it really helps us a lot in terms of having that routine. I think important yung routine, especially with the lockdown. It's quite difficult kung, until you wake up, ano kayong gagawin ko? So, what we do is that we wake up and then we have our very quick breakfast with the kids. And then after that, it's our garden time in the morning. Diba? Siyempre parang nag-good morning din lahat ng plants mo sa'yo. Diba? It has that kind of
The best
feeling.
time.
Diba? All of the leaves. Tapos parang kinikilig ka pag nakakita ka ng new leaf. Diba?
Yeah.
O, makikita mo rin kung sino yung mga parang laggers. Parang ito parang medyo lousy yung growth nito. Parang medyo masungit to. Parang ayaw magpakita ng leaf even if it's already a few months. So yeah, that's our morning routine, and then also late at night after our work. So after the breakfast and tending to the garden, some of the pots, our kids go to their online class. Me and my wife, we go to our separate places sa house to just work, and then in the evening, pag malamig na talaga, like around 10, then we go out again. We check all of the plants.
Wow.
Just say goodnight to them, and minsan some of them they require watering or whatnot, diba? So you
Ngayon
also check on
summer.
the leaves, mga ganun. Oo nga eh. So some of the plants,
Init.
I realized, gusto nila yung sobrang init, diba? Parang talagang they're growing like
Mas lalo silang
at an insane amount. Pero yung iba naman, parang they're withering away.
allocation.
So parang sabi ko, oh no, what do I do with you guys? Pero yun, parang kailangan daily mo siyang tingnan so that the plant communicates to you. Parang gano'n.
Yeah.
So
You have to pay
it's very
attention.
helpful. It's very helpful with having that routine. Tapos for our sanity's sake. Tapos yun nga, bonding moment with me and my wife, because mas siya yung parang plantita na talaga to the max, parang talagang Pokemon master level yung yung inabot niya all of a sudden. I have to, please, utang na loob, huwag ka nang tumingin ng mga plants. Let's just go for quality at this time. Huwag mo na quantity, parang gano'n. Pero it's happy banter between me and my wife. So masaya yung part na yun.
Nagpapasaya talaga siya sa household. And are your kids also into the plants, or is it just you and your wife, Nikki?
Ako even Tyler, kasi parang kahit sa school nila, they're encouraged to take care of a plant or to plant something. So he planted some, I think, garlic.
Okay.
Tapos tuwa siya when it sprouted. So until now, we're tending to the garlic. Kahit tapos na yung school year.
Kahit
job.
tapos na yung assignment niya, Dati ngayon, garlic na,
Leveling up.
Lume-level
Si Mirma, di ba marami ka ding mga herbs?
Yes.
Ito may mushrooms eh.
Yes.
Oo, ang ganda. And other parang eggplants or
Yeah, so for us naman, our family kasi, same with Tin, very similar to Tin. We live in our grandparents' house. So most of the plants that we have there, sa lola ko pa. So it really was passed down to us. So she's she passed away already, but we have the plants that we enjoy at home. She was the one who cultivated it, took care of it, and thank God they survived. But most of the things that we grow are actually vegetables, so things that we can
Yeah.
consume. So
Yan yung dream
even
ko pa eh.
yan yung mga
Hindi ko pa
herbs.
kaya.
So what
For
kind
some
of
reason.
hindi pa. So what kind
Hirap
of
ako sa
plants?
herbs, sa mga edible plants. Hirap akong mangbuhay.
Ano daw siya, parang the watering is usually in the morning. That's what we do. So
Right.
watering in the morning and a little watering in the afternoon. So around like 5 p.m. So right after,
Twice.
alam mo yung mga 8 to 5, di ba? 8 to 5 tayo.
Mm-mm.
So
Mm-mm.
we usually water in the afternoon. So right after we clock out of work. So, ayun na nga. So, what type of plants do you have? So, si Nikki, alam ko sobrang dami, but you don't have to name all
Collect
100.
them all.
Oh, you don't need to name all 100 plus, no? But just some of the things that you have around the house. And also
Or
for
yung favorites mo.
yeah, your favorite. And you also
Actually,
sing.
yung favorite plant ko was given to me by my mother-in-law. Tapos, ilang beses ko na siya pinapa-identify. Wala pa rin nakaka-identify.
Send it
So
over.
Ano natin yan? May prize
I'll
yung
send a
makala.
photo of that plant, and then maybe some of your
Our
viewers
viewers,
can
yes.
comment. And
O interactive.
Oo, di ba?
kasi
They can comment.
hihirapan ako, pero it's my favorite kasi libre siya. Tapos binigay ng mother-in-law ko. So
Baka
yun,
it's the
katabi siya
mother-in-law's
ng
plant.
bed ko actually.
Wow.
I'll send you the photo.
It's not sensitive. Like you don't. Does it need a lot of sunlight, or do you?
It's not sensitive. I think it's, well, we have indoor plants and outdoor plants. Eh. Yung mga indoor mas yun yung can thrive with less light and so on. Pero ang sa akin yung very particular lang ako yung knowing that some of the plants are safe for kids and like, because I have a cat, si
Non-toxic.
Pumpkin. Kasi
Uh-huh.
non-toxic. So yun
Yeah.
yung isang concern ko. Before I had a lot of yung mga ZZ plant, but I learned na pag kinain pala yun ng pets mo, parang buzzed sila or parang slightly
Yeah.
poisonous.
Yeah.
So yun, medyo iniingatan ko yung mga ganun na plants. So we have several, yung mga calatheas and aglaonemas, tapos yung mga philodendrons, mga ganyan yung
yes.
usually mga tropical. I think because it's easier for the weather in the Philippines as well. Tas yung mga mahilig sila sa high humidity. Pero may mga iba talaga na parang ang sungit nilang alagaan, 'di ba? Parang we had lavender several times. Parang nahihirapan talaga ako doon.
Wala akong nabuhay.
Parang very
I've killed
tricky
all
talaga
of
siyang
them.
alagaan.
Kailangan medyo
Ako
malamig
din.
ang lavender, no? Parang
Right.
malamig ata yung
Parang gusto
klima.
niya malamig na super sunny eh. Parang
Oo.
southern, parang southern
Tagaytay.
Spain, ganun na weather. Oo.
Oo.
So
Kaya
parang
pala.
ayaw niya talaga sa akin.
Sa akin din, wala akong nabuhay. Ang bango-bango pa man din niya.
Oo nga eh.
Yeah.
Kahit patay na siya eh. Kahit yung dried up
Oo,
na.
matagal.
Ang bango pa rin.
Sabit mo na lang.
Matagal siya
Totoo.
naglalast.
What about
May
you,
namatay akong lavender. Namatay yung I mean, that's talagang I gathered their leaves and I put them as potpourri around sa mga bathroom,
ang bango.
ganyan kasi
Nice.
Pero ako naman, in terms of the plants that I do collect, nag-start ako talaga dun kasi I didn't have confidence in myself and I didn't wanna kill a lot of plants. So, low maintenance. So, naturally, since my mom's into cactus, I got cactus.
Yo!
Meron talaga akong
Nice.
visuals.
Oh, may show and tell.
May visual and teacher. Ito po yung So, mga kasi and yun nga, parang I wasn't that, I'm a lazy kind of person in general about yung mga ganun. I mean, so I didn't know na baka I might forget to water them or something like that. So I started with cactus because they don't need a lot of attention. They just like a lot of sun. Pero I found out it depends on the cactus.
Yeah.
There's some good and it depends on the succulent. May iba na maarte. But then, so I got encouraged more when I was able to keep more of them alive. And then I started again, I added mga snake plants kasi those are also easy to keep alive. And then potholes kasi you can propagate them in water.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's easy to root them, and then you don't really have to buy much because I'm also cheap. So um,
Yes.
and then you can make that, you can populate them more. So and then the easy to propagate. So those are the stuff that I usually the stuff that I usually have at the office, yung nga, cactus, succulents, or bromeliads, yung mga low
Nice.
maintenance. Because it was, especially during the pandemic, parang there was like a month na I had to leave all my plants. Like the night, diba, they just announced it na
Yeah.
tomorrow you can't go to work anymore. Ganyan. So I was like, what siya man? I could only bring a number of plants home. And so I learned from that na I should only leave certain types of plants at work. So yung bromeliads, cactus, mga ganon. And then snake plants. And then at home, the easier plants din nga, like syngodiums, pothos, syempre my mom's cactus. And then I started getting into bamboo.
Wow.
There was like a time
Nice.
there, because I whenever I see bamboo in people's houses, parang it's
Zen,
so
no?
cool. It looks so
Yeah.
cool, and it's so refreshing. They add shade. They also give you some privacy, parang ganon, ano, and they're not that difficult to propagate and grow so long as you water them often. So those are the ones that I usually take care of. But the ones that my mom has, I also like to help care for her, like her monsteras, a few of her monsteras, because you can really see them react to care. Like if you water them more often, like you'd see a new leaf by the next day or a few days
Yes.
after. So yun. But the ones that like is my responsibility na, that I was the one who repotted and tried to take care of more at home, or yung mga syngodiums, yung mga pothos.
Yeah. Oh, so
Nice.
ang gaganda ng collection nyo, no? And we were flashing photos of your collection. So thanks for sharing that. Now, of course, you already mentioned some of the struggles that you faced during, the beginning of the pandemic, and maybe these, you have new struggles now, still adjusting into this new normal setup. But I'm very interested to know what life lessons have you gained from this newfound hobby? Nikki or Tim, anyone can start.
Sige, I'll take the first attempt at answering your very Miss Universe question. Thank you for that wonderful question.
Contestant number one from Nueva Ecija.
Life lessons. I think ano, kasi ako at times medyo control freak ako eh. Sa plants you can't really be a control freak. I mean, if you want it to grow a certain way, or I mean, at first yung mga napatay ko na plants, it's always overwatering eh, because I want it to grow fast, but it has a certain parang desire to, kung meron lang siyang certain I think level or intent on kung ano yung kaya niyang inumin na tubig or yung growth na kaya niya. So you have to really the plant is communicating to you in very non-verbal ways. So you have to follow that the signs that it's showing you, kung overwatered, kulang sa sunlight, sobra sa sunlight, requiring a different kind of soil or whatnot. I think yung lesson for me is to let go. It's a lesson on not controlling everything. It's just like the pandemic, you can't really control all of the elements, all of the variables. You have to just grow where you're placed at. And right now we're placed at home. So you have to grow where you are. So for us, I mean, we've followed our passions. We've explored several hobbies like plants. I went back to cooking. I learned some musical instruments while under the lockdown. Because I mean, yun yung area of growth. So I think yun yung life lesson sa akin ng taking care of plants. And another would be yung, because I'm a dad, so yung mga kids ko, I also want them to go a certain way. But normally they follow their passions. They're following their own characteristics and whatnot. So I can't just say, ganito dapat yung maging life path mo, or you just have to let them, like plants, you have to let them grow at their own pace, grow as much as they want, but I mean, it's their life, it's their growth. So yun yung lesson sa akin ng taking care
Wow,
of
Nikki,
plants.
thanks for your insights and also, connecting it with how you are as a father to your children. And I think because most of our viewers are also parents, and I think many can resonate with what you said. So thanks for sharing that. What about you, Tin?
In terms of life lesson, it's to pay attention. Kasi like what Nikki mentioned earlier, you have to really pay attention to the plants to see what it needs, if it's being overwatered or it's getting burnt from the sunlight or it needs more sunlight. Because the amount of attention para it's what helps them grow talaga. The regular care, the regular attention that you give. So it's what helps you better care for them and for them to bloom and grow better. At the same time, kasi nga, I like I mentioned earlier, I'm an anxious person. I'm naturally pessimistic. So the paying attention and like celebrating the small wins or like the small buds that begin for every single day, when you look at your plants, you see how they grow little by little. And it helps me practice gratitude and joyfulness over those small natural things that I help, diba, make happen, or I help in letting in helping this natural being, diba, flourish with the attention and the care that I give. So the paying attention to positive things and being grateful to about the practice of gratitude for small things, and see, it helped me, I think, turn also in other aspects of my life na you also sometimes when we're anxious or we're naturally pessimistic, we tend to just pay attention to the negative things that happen or things that could happen that aren't happen it isn't happening naman, parang ganon. So the paying attention and practicing gratitude, I think that's something that I was able to better develop with plants and gardening, and the fact that I think the Philippines, like, we have a lot of natural beauty, and at least in Quezon City, kasi we like have gardens here and there, like in our, even sometimes in our highways we have some wall plants, ganyan. I started paying more attention to my surroundings and appreciating the small greenery that I find, and it refreshes me because usually sometimes we're like, oh, it's a city, it's so dusty and gray, pero you'll see like this house that's brimming with plants, and then plantita to. Or ano to, siguro ano to talaga. Ay, parang, and then this patch of, small garden, and it cheers you up, it breaks your like mood, na it helps you cope with, yes, whatever difficulties you're having, or your anxious thoughts. So that's how my gardening has helped me.
Yeah.
I think for the better.
Nice, very nice. So for Nikki, it's learning to let go. Kasi medyo control freak daw siya. For Tin, it's really paying more attention, and being grateful for even like the smallest bud, no? So, and just really paying attention to everything, and not focusing so much on the negative, but trying to see the small beauties here and there, to brighten up the day. So thanks for sharing your insights. Now, of course, we have our viewers here. They're probably curious. And where do you get your plants? I know that Tin, she started off from her mom, so she got her
From my
her
mom's
first,
garden.
yeah, from your mom's garden, from your Lola's garden.
Yeah.
But because there are there are some like concerns that some of them are like illegally poached from the forest. So how do you ensure that that what you're buying is something that's more like sustainable and more like more responsible, Plant Tito and Plant Tita?
Ako, if I go first, I get some of my plants are from the community parang plant store here where I live in Marikina. So it's just a mere 5-minute walk going to that
Wow, a lucky
place. Tapos
5-minute walk.
Oh, kaya
you'll
pala
be able to
nakaka-100 na kayo.
find some of the plants. So sabi ko, sige tuwing every month, we can just go there and maybe grab a pot or some soil, di ba? And then find a plant. But because Maan had this like Pokemon mentality of collecting different kinds of plants, we've been
Every month,
sourcing them from different like places, like Nueva Ecija, and some come from Laguna, some from Rizal. So there are different like places where you're able to source them. One good source would be yung Facebook Marketplace. I think may mga ilan doon that are I would say legit sellers that they know their craft as well. So hindi rin they don't sell yung mga illegal because DNR, they have a list of plants that you're not supposed to buy because they're poached from the rainforests, and some of them are actually endangered already. So you have to know the plants that are on those lists, or you have to ensure that the plants that you buy are not illegal, no? So that one day you're just collecting plants, the next you're already criminally liable
jail, in bars.
for it can go from very zen to criminally liable really fast, no? So but most of the plants, ang isa rin na realize ko that Mother Earth is very generous. Parang naisip ko din na most of the plants, they charge insane amount of money for some plants that you can just propagate by cutting a leaf or getting some seeds and planting. So yung very fulfilling sa akin encounter of gaining plants, yung mga libre. Yung mga tipong sabihin ng tita ko, puputo lang siya ng, ito, pag tinanim mo lang to sa lupa, magkakaroon yan ng roots, magiging plant yan. Or ito, kailangan mo lang itong ilagay sa tubig for 2 weeks, magkaka-roots na yan. So, may ma-realize mo how generous nature actually is. That you don't really need a lot of money if you want to collect plants or if you want to have a garden. It's a matter of really just knowing your plants and finding your passion, tapos you follow through.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Nikki. No, most of the plants also that we have here at home are really from cutting. So we didn't buy all the plants here. Kumbaga they grew, you cut them, tapos ilalagay mo siya, and then eventually, ang dami mo ng halaman, no? And even like for us, just to share also, like for instance, kangkong, we have a little kangkong patch that we just got from cuttings that we bought from the public market. So we have ampalaya, the seed that we got from the vegetable that we purchased. So, and also the excitement, no, that you see it growing from the seed, and then harvesting and eating it. Talagang yung full 360 nung and then it gives you a lot of appreciation also. You appreciate more what nature can give you. So definitely. Tin, what about you?
Well, apart from nauna ako nga sa hingi hingi sa nanay, hingi sa office mate, ganyan.
Yun yung pinakamasaya, Tin.
Oo di ba? So encourage ka.
Tin ba?
Oo, I do. Kasi like, if I have extra babies, I exchange with some of my friends and office mates. Kasi nga, yun, it builds a community din of, diba, of people with common interests. So that's how it began. And also kasi, diba, you feel so invested if something happens. I didn't want to buy mga expensive plants. Kasi I'm Ilocana and I don't want to spend too much talaga. Pero sobrang sakit pag ang mahal tapos hindi mo na nabuhay. So I knew myself that I know na I have limited time. Sometimes I have to I have to go to the hospital for weeks, or I have to be at work, or I have to leave it at work. Parang ganun. So I really limited my collection to a number of plants that I knew I could keep alive because extending the number would be too tedious for me, and I know that they wouldn't be healthy and I wouldn't be able to care for them well. And then the ones that are hardier, easier, not too difficult to care for. So other than the ones I got from my friends and family and neighbors, as I mentioned, my mom would ask cuttings. Even I used to the first few I bought were from the Centris Sunday Market.
Oh, yes, the Centris Sunday.
There would be a change on Sundays, and then when the pandemic happened, that closed down, or there wasn't as much stores there. I started shopping from Quezon City Circle. It's open air din kasi, and then there are a lot of plants there. And then for cactus, sometimes when I go to farmers market, but medyo enclosed kasi yung farmers area, so I'm more cautious about going there. So I limit visits there only for special occasions. So but they have more cactus selections kasi at farmers market eh. So yeah, I don't really collect a lot kasi of variety. So I'm happy with propagating what I already have or exchanging with friends. So yun, kasi nga I have limit. I know my limit, and I know my energy level. So I'm happy with yeah.
Yeah, I like what you said, Tin. So it's really like knowing yourself also. Parang kailangan compatible din kayo, no? Parang may relationship ka din with the plant eh. So kailangan compatible ka din with the plant, diba? If you're not compatible, then there are expectations. The plant expects that it will be taken care of, and then you don't have time. So that is also very applicable to life, right? So that's I think that's a good thing to remember. So I guess for our viewers there, you need to also do some life check first before purchasing or investing your time and energy and wallet into something grand. So start small and really building that community and finding people who have the same passion or interest, and maybe you can barter or hingi muna para pa-experiment. So great.
Most plantitos and plantitas are like generous about it because they want like more people to, diba? More people to join in the fun. Let's drain the planet. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. That like the genuine plantitos and plantitas also that I've met, they're so generous and they would really give cuttings and would give advice. So quite similar naman to our mushroom garden at home. So same thing. We met him sa Facebook Marketplace, and he's been mentoring us. So shout out to Attorney Lem. So he's also a retired lawyer, but he really got himself into mushrooms, and he taught us how to do it. And we're so happy with with our growth. And now we have mushrooms every day, and they're so beautiful to look at.
Actually, I was gonna ask you about that. I'm going to try and get a pack for myself because they're healthy and antioxidants, diba?
That's true.
I will connect you to our mushroom mentor.
Sige, ako din.
Sige, Nikki. So, ayun. Okay, so now we are down to our last question. Paano to? Medyo pang Miss Universe levels. But I hope you can answer the question. But this question is, if you were a plant, okay, which one would you be and why? Ako napaisip silang dalawa. Sige, we'll give them a few minutes.
Sige, ako na lang muna. Siguro cactus. Because I like to be left alone. I'm kind of an introvert. So, kasi cactus, parang pag in-overwater mo yan, you pay too much attention. So, minsan mas lalo pa siyang nagre-react, tas malalanta, ganyan. So, but the more you leave it alone, paminsan saka pa siya talagang nag-grow and nagfa-flourish. So, yun lang, medyo sensitive ka din. You have to pay some attention na ano yung moods niya or ano yung needs niya, ganyan. So, cactus, anyway, and it's resilient. Knocks.
Yes,
pero
rocky soil.
It can thrive in different conditions. Woo! Okay.
Ang galing naman.
Ayan!
Oh,
That's
Award!
one thing.
Nikki.
Universe!
Siguro sa akin, yung peace lily. Kasi parang very close sa akin yung peace process, human rights, yung mga ganon. Yung mga values that Miriam had taught me.
Yan.
Diba? Very symbolic sa akin yun. So, na plant that I have. Tapos, not because it's really peaceful, but because it's the name, no? Yung peace lily. Tapos, it reminds me of world peace.
Yes.
And it's not hard to care for. It's
Right. I mean, it's
Very
not one of
resilient.
those na very resilient, very easy to take care of. You just don't overwater. Yun talaga
Yeah.
Saka direct
isang-
sunlight.
Right.
yeah,
Right.
sunlight.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you guys so much for, really your time, and of course this fun, very fun conversation about plants, and also, the things that you're going through throughout the pandemic, and how to really change your perspective to become more peaceful and mentally well also. So thank you. In today's episode, we learned that taking care of plants can significantly improve our mood, affecting our mindset and perspectives. It can also strengthen family bond, creating beautiful memories to last us a lifetime. Our guests have shared a lot of insights that I'm sure you can relate to. In our conversation, it was also given emphasis that joining communities in our neighborhood or online can help improve our socialization during this time. People have used technology to create small gatherings of plant lovers. Through these communities, people can share and grow their knowledge. There are also opportunities to do plant sharing for free, which is a lot of fun and very exciting. Caring for plants at home or even in our workspaces can help calm the mind, which helps cultivate our inner peace. Other benefits of caring for plants is that it can improve the quality of air in our homes and spaces. Its beauty can uplift the soul. Talking to our plants can also contribute to our mental well-being, which is very essential during this time. Caring for our plants also gives us the opportunity to move our body, improving our health. Like humans, there are plants who enjoy a lot of attention, while others prefer to be left alone to grow and grow at their own pace and time. Whatever plant you choose to take care of, one must be reminded to always be responsible plant caregivers. Doing research will help us find the most suitable plant for our lifestyle and home environment. Most importantly, we need to be reminded that in growing our plant collection, we must know our source and make sure that our plants are not sourced illegally. These are important things to remember so that this does not disrupt our ecosystem, and also a way to protect our forests. Well, that's all the time we have left today. I hope you learned a thing or two from this episode. Once again, my name is Mirma Tico Ortiz. I hope to see you again here at our sacred space, our peaceful classroom.